What's up guys, this is Yasser. Welcome back to my channel. You're watching Yasser's Fit Frag. Today I'm going to talk about another set of loose attars from the brand Ajmal. I'll be picking 6 today. So at number 6 is Attar Rehab. Okay, so Attar Rehab, if you remember Ajmal Nadia, which is also a loose attar, which I think I did in the first part of Ajmal Attar series. This is a refined version of Ajmal Nadia. This is on the similar lines. There are few differences, of course, but I feel this is more refined than Royal Nadia. So it opens up with a nice iris, violet florals, a bit of lavender, and a bit of jasmine as well. And then in the base, it is nicely supported by vanilla to give it that creaminess to the overall floral blend. Now the floral here does not make it too feminine because it's more of violets. There is lavender and iris, so it stays more on the unisex side, if you understand what I mean, because in general there is no gender specific in perfumery, but when something is more sweet and floral, people generally tend to see that as a feminine fragrance. So I don't see anything too feminine here, but it is right balanced in between, provided you also like a bit of floral blends. So this costs around 650 for a 6 ml, and performance wise it definitely performs as good as Royal Nadia, but Royal Nadia has a heavy projection in the first 2 hours. This still has a good projection in the first 2 hours, projects about 2 to 3 feet in the first 2 hours. And even in the third hour, it still projects about 1 hour. So performance is still not bad even in this one, though it is more refined and smoother than Royal Nadia. And it gave a good lasting of 10 to 11 hours on my skin. So on clothes, you can actually expect it to be longer than that. But 10 to 11 hours is still a good deal on your skin. So performance wise is also good. That is Attar Rehab. Okay, so that's at number 6. Coming in at number 5 is Royal Touch. Okay, now this is the leathery musk sort of a fragrance. The leather doesn't mean that it's like the typical leather designer fragrance, something like Tom Ford Tuscan leather, not that sort of leather. It is very smooth, a very tiny hint of leather along with musk. In the dry down, as and when you cross 1.5 to 2 hours, you get a nice sweet patchouli, which is more like Khususi patchouli, which is also from Ajmal. Their patchouli is somewhat like a vanillic light green sort of patchouli, not in the direction of Acqua di Gio Profumo, which is more dark earthy greeny. The base has that Khususi patchouli vibe. So the leathery musk in the opening gets nicely covered with that. Overall, a very nice blend again, costs around 650. Performance is also good. It projects about 2 hours and gives a good lasting of 8 to 9 hours. So that is Royal Touch by Ajmal Loose Attars. At number 4 is Oud Nahyan. Okay, now don't get carried away by the word oud. There is no real oud, if I am sensing it correctly, because this is more on the interpreted version of oud for those who want to start with oud. Okay, so in case you do not like that animalic, bold, skanky sort of oud, you can still try this one, because this does not have anything of that sort which is animalic or skanky. This is more smooth, easy to wear. If you want to try wearing real oud, then you can definitely start with that. Now this opens up with a nice green patchouli, again similar sort of Khususi patchouli type, along with a Hindi oud type, which I believe is synthetic. Doesn't mean that it smells synthetic. What I'm trying to say is it does not have that animalic vibe to it, but it still gives you that interpretation of Hindi oud. Very mild. It is easy to wear. Even if you're not a lover of the skanky oud, you might still like this one. So you can definitely try it in case you visit Ajmal store. So along with that Hindi oud touch, there is sandalwood and musk in the base. So overall, it is still a good fragrance, easy to wear. In case you want to step into oud, you want to get the feel of oud, you can definitely try this one. That is Oud Nahyan. Costs around 500 for a 6 ml. Not that expensive and not animalic, leathery, daring sort of oud here. Projects about 2 hours, lasts a good 7 to 9 hours, between that range. So not bad in terms of performance again. At number 3 is Zaafran Ruhl. Now this is pretty expensive, costs 2000 for a 6 ml, and that's because they have used real saffron here. Okay. Now this is not for those who are expecting compliments. This is for those who want to appreciate natural beauties, okay? Because the saffron here is absolutely natural. I don't get any sort of synthetic saffron here. Imagine you're holding a box of saffron that you get beautiful, smooth aroma of saffron. That's what you get here. Now, along with saffron, there is definitely sandalwood, because most of the saffron oils blended with sandalwood as a fixative, which is the base note, because otherwise it is difficult to get the aroma of saffron. So sandalwood is generally used as a base note, as a fixative in most of the attar blending. So I'm sure this also has that, because after 6 hours, the saffron smell vanishes and I get only sandalwood. The overall lasting of this is about 11 to 12 hours, which is absolutely brilliant. Project's about 2 hours, but the only point is you don't get that saffron vibe after 6 hours. So the saffron almost dies away after 6 hours, and then the sandalwood continues, which goes up to 11 to 12 hours. So great performance. Even though you pay 2000, you don't really have to worry about the performance, because it still goes up to 11 to 12 hours. But after 6 hours, you don't get the saffron vibe. Now buy this only if you are into natural beauties, if you appreciate natural materials. This is for those people, not for those who wear fragrance just for compliments, because this is not something for compliments. Obviously, the smell is great, but you need to appreciate natural materials. So, Zaafran Ruhl at number 3. At number 2 is Al Sheikh. Okay, Al Sheikh, however you want to call. The opening has a bit of spices, there is a bit of saffron and a bit of earthy balsamic notes as well. Now, after 1 hour is when it goes into that Hindi oud and sandalwood and musk vibe. Now this after 1 hour might remind you of Oud Rajali by Al Haramain Store, Hyderabad. If you remember my review on Al Haramain loose attars, so I've spoken about Oud Rajali, which I highly recommend for those who love oud. So this is an oud and musk combination, beautiful oud and musk combination, Hindi oud I believe, and that blend of musk and Hindi oud is absolutely gorgeous, guys, provided you like real oud. Okay, now this will also remind you of Oud Rajali from the Al Haramain Store, Hyderabad. So that is not from the Al Haramain brand, but the Al Haramain Store, Hyderabad has this as one of their loose attar. I'm talking about Oud Rajali. Okay, beautiful packaging as well. So if you want similar sort of smell in Ajmal, Al Sheikh is what you go for. This also has that similar dry down, very close to Oud Rajali in the dry down. The opening is a bit different because it has a bit of spicy accords like saffron and some earthy balsamic notes as well. But after 1 hour, it goes very close to Oud Rajali, which is oud, musk and sandalwood. Costs around 750. Now coming to performance, it projects about 2 to 3 hours and lasts a good time of 10 to 12 hours, just like Oud Rajali. Okay, this is one of my favorites from today's list, along with Zaafran Ruhl if you like natural materials. Now coming to number 1, the reason I place this at number 1 is because this is damn cheap, just costs around 200 for a 6 ml, and it is an absolute crowd pleaser, guys. This is called Maisoon. Okay, they have written in Arabic. I believe they did not have the sticker in English, so it says Misk Maisoon. So that's the full name. They have only written Maisoon here, so the full name, if I remember correctly, is Misk Maisoon. Now the reason why I said this is a crowd pleaser is because when I was testing it, I applied a bit on my inner elbow, which you can say like 0.10 ml, okay, 0.10 ml. That's how much I usually use for testing purpose. And I was surprised to get a compliment from my wife, who was 3 feet away, and it was like 30 minutes after I applied it. And I was just opening my window, and I believe the soft wind just passed by, and she was sitting like 3 to 4 feet away, and she just asked, wow, what fragrance are you wearing? And I was actually surprised because I wasn't wearing any fragrance, just this one 0.10 ml just for testing purpose. And she said it smells really gorgeous. Now talking about the blend, I said this is only 200, guys, so grab your chance if you like the smell of Rasasi Shura, not in a smoky way. I won't call this as an exact clone of Rasasi Shura, because if you want an exact clone of Rasasi Shura in the oil form, Rasasi also has an attar called as Wahabi or Wahami. Here they have done it in the typical Ajmal DNA. Okay, so you will remember Rasasi Shura when you smell this, but it is not an exact clone because this has more citrus and musk to it. So if you can imagine a less smoky version of Rasasi Shura with more citrus and musk, that's what you get here. Misk Maisoon by Ajmal costs only 200. Beautiful fragrance. If you like crowd pleasing attars where people compliment you, this is what you go for. The projection is absolutely great, guys. It projects easily 3 to 4 feet for the first 2 hours, and it still projects about 1 to 1.5 feet even in the third and fourth hour. That's the best part. So people who are looking for great performance, a good crowd pleaser, great for outdoors, for marriage parties, that kind of occasion, 100% a must try. Highly recommended. That is called Misk Maisoon, or maybe just Maisoon. In case you visit Ajmal store, or if you want to get it couriered, definitely try this one. The only caveat is you need to have that bit of taste for Rasasi Shura. For those who hate Rasasi Shura because it is smoky and too rough, you might still like this one because this does not have that smokiness which Shura has. This has more citrus and musk to it. So if you can imagine that way, then you can probably try this one. Or if you have Ajmal store in your city, simply go and visit, test the smell, and then decide if you want to buy it or not. It was a great lasting of 10 to 11 hours on my skin. On clothes, it can go even longer, but on my skin, I could easily get it for 10 hours. So that's about it. This is at number 1, highly recommended. These two are also recommended, that is Umm Al Sheikh, but this is not for beginners. You need to have taste towards Oud and Zaafran Ruhl for those who like natural materials. So that's about it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching again. Keep sharing the video. See you next time soon. Cheers.